A shop quoted my wife $480 to replace an oxygen sensor. The part costs $65 online. The job takes about 40 minutes with hand tools. That's not an unusual story. That's just Tuesday at most repair shops. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 ways shops sneakily inflate a bill for a minor repair, and the exact questions that shut each one down. Stick around for number 3 because it's the one almost nobody catches. Here's the uncomfortable truth about the repair business. Most shops are honest, but the dishonest ones survive for one reason. They're betting you don't know what a job should cost. You come in stressed. You need the car back by Friday. The service writer starts talking about labor rates, book time, diagnostic codes, and somewhere in that fog you just nod and hand over the card. That fog is the business model. So let's clear it, starting with the fee they charge before a single wrench comes out. A diagnostic fee by itself is fair. Real diagnosis takes training, equipment, and time, and a good tech earns that money. The red flag is what happens next. Watch for 2 moves. First, the shop charges you $150 to diagnose the problem, then refuses to credit any of it toward the repair when you approve the work. Plenty of reputable shops apply some or all of that fee to the job. If yours won't, ask why. Second, and this one's sneakier, look at the itemized invoice. If you see a diagnostic fee and a separate line for diagnostic labor folded into the repair hours, you're paying twice for the same 20 minutes with a scan tool. And one more thing while we're here. A trouble code is a clue, not a diagnosis. A code pointing at your oxygen sensor can also mean a wiring fault, an exhaust leak, or a vacuum problem. If a shop reads one code and immediately quotes you a part, they skip the actual diagnostic work you just paid for. Alright, red flag number 2. Every shop marks up parts. That's normal, and it keeps the lights on. 50 to 100% over their cost is standard in the industry. The problem starts when a shop insists you need the dealer-branded OEM part at triple the price on a component where a quality aftermarket brand is functionally identical. Brake pads, filters, belts, batteries. Brands like Bosch, Denso, and NGK often build the original part anyway. The dealer box just adds a logo and a margin. Now, to be fair, there are parts where cheaping out bites you. Ignition coils, sensors, and anything electronic on a European car. Buy quality or buy twice. A good shop will explain that trade-off. A bad shop just says OEM only and moves on. Your move? Ask for the part number and the price of both options. If they won't quote an aftermarket alternative on a brake pad, that tells you everything. And now, the one that gets almost everybody. You come in for brakes, and you leave with a quote for a transmission flush, a fuel system cleaning, and a coolant service. Pull out your owner's manual right now. Seriously, pause the video and grab it. Your manufacturer publishes the exact service intervals for your engine. If the recommended service on the shop's whiteboard doesn't appear in that manual at your mileage, it's a profit center, not maintenance. The classic tell is the flush package. Many modern automatic transmissions specify fluid changes at 60 to 100,000 miles, or in some cases, have no scheduled change at all. So, a shop pushing a flush at 30,000 miles isn't protecting your car. They're protecting their monthly numbers. Quick pause. If any of this has already saved you money, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach the next driver about to overpay. Alright, now the defense playbook that makes sure you never get played by a mechanic again. 4 steps. Write these down or screenshot this part. Step 1. Get a written, itemized estimate before any work starts, and tell them to call you before exceeding it. In many places, that's your legal right, and the paper trail alone changes how a shop treats you. Step 2. Ask to keep your old parts, and ask before the work begins. Several US states require shops to return replaced parts if you request them up front. If the answer is, "We already threw it out," on a part they replaced an hour ago, well, you've learned something important about that shop. Step 3. Ask what the book time is for the job. Shops bill from flat-rate labor guides like Mitchell or All Data. A serpentine belt on most cars books at under an hour. If someone quotes you 3 hours, ask them to show you the guide, and watch how fast that quote changes. Step 4. For anything over a few $100s, get a second opinion. Snap a photo of the estimate and call another shop. An honest mechanic never fears a second opinion. A dishonest one gets defensive the moment you mention it. None of this makes you a difficult customer. It makes you the customer shops stop trying to fool. If this saved you even one padded invoice, subscribe and hit the bell. Because next week we're covering the 5 repairs you should never pay a shop for, no matter how little you know about cars. Drive smart. See you in the next video.